people often say that you can't have ADHD because you're so focused, so productive, or so organized. And it can be tricky to react to this because they are right about one thing. I can focus, I can be productive. Sometimes I'm so focused, intensely focused on something that everything else seems to disappear. And this is called hyperfocus, and it's actually one of the criteria for having ADHD. So what is hyperfocus? Well, first you need to understand what ADHD is. It stands for Attention Deficit and Hyperactivity Disorder, but it's not really about a deficit of attention. It's a difficulty to regulate this attention. Because if you think about it, what does it mean to be distracted? Well, if you're awake and conscious, you're always paying attention. And for instance, if I'm reading a book, maybe it's a bit boring, but I'm trying to focus on the book and something interesting happened outside the window, then my attention shifts away from the book and to the thing that's happening outside. So then we say I'm distracted. But it actually just means that my attention has shifted to something else. I'm still paying attention. I still have attention, just not on the thing that I'm supposed to. So when you have ADHD, your attention can be constantly shifting, jumping from one thing to another all the time. Or it can lock on to something, to one thing, which is called hyperfocus. And the challenge for a person with ADHD is choosing where my attention goes, to regulate this, to consciously decide that now I want to pay attention to the book and not the things that are happening outside. So this is an important distinction. It's not a lack of attention, it's a problem of regulating attention. And hyperfocus can be triggered by different things. Sometimes it can be something new that grabs my attention, a novelty. It can be something urgent, like a deadline approaching. Yes, this urgency, like a deadline approaching, can be a double-edged sword. It can result in hyperfocus, where I sort of lock in and just try to finish the task before the deadline. But it can also lead to the opposite, paralysis, where I almost forget how to do the task just because it's so urgent, because of the stress. Hyperfocus can also be triggered by that's something interesting, simply, or something that makes me feel good. For instance, a couple of years ago, I suddenly became interested in fish keeping and aquariums. I can't remember what sparked this interest. It just came to me. And a neurotypical person maybe would go and buy an aquarium and put some fish that looks nice in the aquarium, maybe look at the colors or something. But I hyper-focused on this. I studied it. I spent hours watching thousands of YouTube tutorials about water biology, different species of fish, which fish goes well together and which species shouldn't be in the same tank, what kinds of different tanks are there, water parameters, like which temperature should it be, which pH level. I even learned how to build some aquarium equipment, like DIY. And then when I had my big aquarium, I enjoyed it like anybody would. I stopped hyper focusing on it, but like in this initial phase, I got so like interested in every detail of fish keeping that I spent way too much time learning and studying about it. And this is sort of a typical example of what it can look like to be in this state of hyperfocus. So what does it feel like to be in this state of hyperfocus? Well, it's kind of like the rest of the world fades away, lose track of time. I might even forget to go and eat, and I might probably will stay up way too late at night thinking about the thing or doing the thing I'm focused on. And any interruption becomes very annoying. Like if I need to take a break from the thing and do something else, I can get really impatient and just thinking about getting back to the thing I'm focused on. And also this thing, whatever it is, it becomes sort of effortless. Like it feels like it doesn't require any energy at all to do this thing. So I can do it for long periods of time without getting tired. So when can this be useful? Like, what's the upside of hyperfocus? Well, obviously, if I need to learn a new skill, if I can hyperfocus on learning the new skill, then I can learn it very quickly and quite well. It could be maybe a new software or a new language or whatever. If I can hyperfocus, I can learn it in half the time or 25% of the time that I would normally take me to learn the thing. It can also help me to solve complex problems. It can give me bursts of creativity. Maybe I can easily see connections and solutions that other people might miss. It can give me a very high level of productivity. It gives me persistence and endurance because I don't feel like I'm spending energy. And I work in communications, and one example where what I really enjoy is working in crisis management, because crisis management really requires these qualities that I get from hyperfocus. I need to learn the situation very quickly. I need to solve problems. I need to find solutions, and I have to imagine, like, if we take this action, what could happen, good or bad consequences, or if we choose another action, what will happen? It also requires persistence and endurance, of course, because the crisis does not stop when the office hours are over. Maybe I need to work longer days or whatever before I can hand off to a colleague or something. So in crisis management, hyperfocus is so useful. So I really enjoy that type of work for short periods of time. But there are some flaws, obviously, also some obstacles. And mainly it has to do with this difficulty of regulating. It always runs the risk of me focusing on the wrong thing, like hyper-focusing on the wrong thing, because it's not like I can choose, now I want to hyper-focus on this task for 5 hours, and then I'm going to hyper-focus on the next task for 2 hours. And since I'm not able to regulate it easily, I always run the risk of spending too much time on something. Maybe I try to perfect something that doesn't really need to be perfect. Maybe I'm missing other obligations or other commitments. Maybe I have a long list of tasks that I need to finish in the workday, and one of the tasks I'm hyper-focusing on one task, and 5 other tasks maybe falls into the background and doesn't get done on time. And obviously these periods of hyperfocus do not last forever. They are finite. And since I don't feel that I'm getting tired while I'm in this state of hyperfocus, that like when this state passes, when I go back to sort of a more normal state, then I can feel extremely tired because I spent a lot of energy without feeling that I spent a lot of energy. So I get really tired, and I can have a really long time. I can require a long time to recover, like a baseline energy. So, would I describe hyperfocus as a superpower or a flaw? Well, it can be both, of course. if it was easy to regulate, if I could choose just now I want to hyperfocus for this amount of time on this task, then it would be an obvious superpower, because that would be awesome. But since it's not a regulatable, easy to regulate, it can be tricky, because it's so easy to get lost in or stuck on details, or like I said, focusing on the wrong thing, or maybe not letting go of some task because I find it so interesting. I always want to keep doing it while I have another lot of other tasks that might not seem very interesting. So it's a little bit of both. Like when hyperfocus hits in the right moment for the right task, then it's awesome. It's so great. But when it hits on something that's not really what I should be focusing on, then it can be really, really difficult. So how about you? Have you experienced periods of hyperfocus? Did you find it mostly harmful or more helpful? Maybe you want to share your story in the comments. So if you listened this far, I'm Johan. I work in communication, and I do this YouTube channel to share my personal experience being a professional in my field with ADHD. And I'm not speaking as an expert on ADHD. I just want to share my personal experience, and maybe you would find some value in that, or inspiration, or consolation. Please share your own experience in the comments. I would love to hear from you. Thank you.